Hello, and welcome to our first lesson on Verilog hardware description language. And in this lesson, we're going to go through the basic procedure for installing the tools that we need, and we'll look at a really simple example just to make sure everything is working and see the basic syntax. So let's just jump right in. So the primary tool we'll be using is Icarus Verilog. It's an open source tool that lets us do the synthesis and simulation that we need to make sure that our Verilog HDL code is working properly. So that's what we're going to install. So the first step is actually not on this page. We'll go to this other link right here, bleyer.org/Icarus. And here you can find the executables to download and install Icarus Verilog. So we'll go ahead and grab the most recent one and download it. So you just follow the process like any other installation. Make sure you check these boxes. GTKWave is the tool that we use to view the waveform simulations. So make sure both of these boxes are checked and that you're doing a full installation. Hit next. I like to create a desktop shortcut. Next again, install. And when we finish, we're finished. So to make sure it worked properly, we want to open up a command prompt. And what we want to do is type in Verilog. And there we go. So when we see this Verilog, no source files, and some usage information, we know that our Verilog installation is properly installed and good to go. So we're ready to actually write some Verilog code. So let's do that. So you can use any open source editor that you want. I really like Visual Studio Code. So let's create a new file. I'm just going to call this one hello.v. V is the file extension for Verilog files. And we'll get to it. So the syntax for creating a basic Verilog module is this. With module, we give it a name, usually the name of the file. So hello. And in parentheses, we'll put all of our inputs and outputs. This is one thing that Verilog is different than other programming languages. Well, of course, Verilog isn't a programming language, but syntactically, one of the differences here is in a normal language, this sort of looks like a function declaration where you would put parameters. And in Verilog, we're actually going to define all of the input and output nodes. So let's just have like an input A and an output B. And then we need to follow that with a semicolon. Then down at the bottom, we'll cap things off with this end module declaration. This would be like the sort of closing brackets for a declaration in another language. So then we actually define our inputs and outputs. So we'll say that input A, semicolon, output B, semicolon. So here is where we actually define our variables as inputs or outputs. And then we want to actually do the thing. So all we'll do here is not write any logic. We'll just tie the output directly to the input. We'll make a buffer effectively. So what I'm going to write is this: assign B equal to A. And that's all there is to it. So this will feed the signal from A directly to the output B. And that's all we've got. So we'll save that. And now with every Verilog module you write, you need to write a test bench. This is how you actually make sure that your modules are working the way you want them to. So the format I like to use is for whatever module I'm testing, I'll use that module's name, hello, and then I'll do _TB for test bench. And then test benches themselves are also Verilog modules, so .v. There we go. Now we're ready to write our test bench. So a few things at the top. The first thing we'll write is this apostrophe and then timescale. And I like to use 1 nanosecond and 1 nanosecond. Don't worry about what this means. We'll talk about all this in a later video. And then we need to include the file we want to test. So we'll do apostrophe include. And we'll include our hello.v file. And now we're ready to write our module. Test bench modules are Verilog modules just like any other. So we have a module declaration. So we have module hello_TB. Now, test benches don't have inputs or outputs, so we won't include that declaration. We'll just do a semicolon and then an end module for down there at the end. Now, we create this REG registers for our inputs and wires for all of our outputs. Here we just have input A and output B. We'll talk about why this is in a later video, so don't worry too much about it. And then we need to create our unit under test. So we'll create a module instantiation of hello, we'll give it a name, UUT, and it has its inputs A and B. Then we're ready to actually do the test. So in the actual test execution, write initial, begin, and end to cap everything off. Verilog doesn't use brackets or braces or curly braces. It uses this like begin and end syntax. So at the top here, there's a couple things we need to do some housekeeping. We do $, dump file, and this is the file that will hold our output waveform. So we need to make sure and declare that. So we'll say hello underscore tb tb.vcd is the file extension, semicolon, and then dump vars. Again, we'll talk about all of this later. 0 hello underscore tb. Now the actual test. So our inputs are really simple. We just have an a single bit. So what we'll do is we'll say a is equal to 0. And then we'll wait. We'll do hashtag 20. What this does is wait for 20 nanoseconds. Set a equal to 1. Wait again. The reason we wait here is so that we can actually view the behavior in waveform. If everything happened simultaneously, it wouldn't look very good. Also, it can lead to some weird behavioral issues. So then let's set a back to 0 and wait 20 more nanoseconds. And that's all there is to it. Let's go ahead and actually, before we finish up, let's write a little message to ourselves. If you want to put some output to the console, we do this, $display, and then our message. So let's write, test complete. We might put like how many errors or how many test cases passed or something like that. But for now, we'll just say test complete. And there we go. There's our test bench. Just kind of recap a little bit. We can bring it over, do it. There we go, right there. So we started with a really simple module, just sort of a hello world type example. One input A, output B. No logic, really just A tied directly to output B. And then in our test bench, we set the timescale, we included our files, we created the module declaration, we used regis for inputs, wires for outputs, created our unit under test. Inside initial begin, we actually have the test itself. These two lines let us set up the waveform file that we'll view here in a second. We actually carry out the test. These hashtag numbers represent some kind of time delay. Again, we'll talk about all of that later. And then we wanted to write some text out to the console telling us that we are done with the test. So now we're ready to actually go ahead and execute it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the PowerShell. Here we go. Here's the syntax for running our simulation. We're going to type I Verilog, then the option -O, then the module name. So hello.tb. Now it's important to note that we're synthesizing the testbench module, not necessarily the module that we're testing. So it's testbench, so hello underscore tb dot vvp. And then, so that's where it's going, that's where it's getting synthesized to. And then where it came from, hello underscore tb dot v. And that runs, we didn't get any messages, so everything's good. And then we type VVP to actually run the simulation here. Hello underscore TB dot VVP. Look at that, and we can see that our VCD file was created, and we can see that message, test complete, letting us know that our test completed successfully. Now, what we want to do is view the waveform. So we'll type GTKWave, and that will fire up the GTKWave viewer. So go ahead and make that full screen. We'll go to File, Open New Tab, and then we want to find that .vcd file and open it up. Then we select the module that we're testing and grab these signals using holding that control to grab all of them, or whichever ones we wanted. In this case, we want all of them. And then we go down and hit Append, and that adds them to the waveform. So we can see here on the left-hand side, it shows us the signals. We got A and B, and then we can see in green here the waveform and see that when A went to 1, B followed suit, so A and B are equal to each other, which matches what we wanted to see in our Verilog module. So that's all there is to it for this lesson. We talked about how to install Icarus Verilog. We wrote a really simple module, a really simple test bench. We also ran our simulation and then viewed our output here in GTKWave. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And if not, I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Thank you.